Welcome to another episode of Love Living Local 315. We are your hosts, Scott and Kelly Greats, and today's guest wears a lot of hats. Today's wearing a White Sox hat, which we can get into. Jordan is a single father, entrepreneur, veteran music producer, and newly published author. Born and raised right here in Utica, Jordan Johnson has spent over 2 decades shaping sound, shaping young minds, and now shaping ideas about how we embrace life's challenges instead of running from them. Jordan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you guys for having me. How y'all feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I like the energy. You can tell. You're that smile.
Yeah, man.
You're ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready to go.
So let's, we were just talking about seasons off camera.
Yep.
So when you look back, what season are you most proud of right now? And it could be the current one.
It is the current one. The reason why it's the current one, because it's a mix of seasons over many, many years. You know what I mean? So I look at now my life as it's like a quote-unquote trophy, like the book, having a business. These are like trophies in my life, to where it's like I can actually look back on these things and say, yo, I did this, but not even just for me. I really did it to give out, to project my energy out. You know what I mean?
And those life experiences that you had younger have helped you to become who you are today.
And you know what's funny? That it takes for you to look, or at least for me, step outside of myself to even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, sure, you realize it might hit you, but nah, to really sit with yourself and to understand, like, no, this is what I've been through. This is where I came from. This is where I'm at now. And now the question is, I guess, where would I be trying to go?
It is very powerful to sit and reflect on where where you started and where you've gotten and everything that happened in between.
100%.
And just obstacles and how you overcome them and adversity. And that's a powerful thing. It makes us stronger.
Man, and sometimes, I would even ask the question, have you guys even ever looked back and be like, man, yo, I got through X, Y, and Z. I didn't even know if I can get through that.
Many times.
Are we ready? We ready to just geek out on this stuff?
You know what I mean?
This is our jam.
I'm a huge fan of daily reflection. It's part of my everyday routine, my morning routine. You can't be hateful when you're grateful. Right? So I like the day and gratitude and things I'm appreciative of from the day before, things that made me happy, little moments.
Yes.
And what happens is over time, when you document these happy moments, inevitably you're going to run into ruts and slumps and days where just nothing seems right and you're just not feeling it. And, a great exercise is to go back.
That's right.
And flip through your journal and remind yourself, like, oh my gosh, like we have done something. Like, but stop the pity party. Like, life's pretty good,
right?
And so. Yeah, I think in this fast-paced world where everyone's in a hurry to get nowhere, reflection, quiet time is the most underutilized tool that we all have access to.
Silence is, like you said, quiet time. Silence for me is actually very vital. I feel like sometimes literally the noise in reality isn't as loud as the noise in your head. You know what I mean? Like, you could be going through X, Y, and Z, where that to the outside world, you look like you're going through so much, right? But it's nothing compared to what I might be telling myself. Like, you might say, like, man, that was a good song that you made. I could be saying, no, this was terrible. This wasn't my best. I could have did better. And the outside working like, yo, this is fire. What are you talking about? Yeah. So I think progression for me, right? Well, first of all, I need silence to progress. I need to be able to think. You know what I mean? I need to be able to reflect, move forward. But to do that, I need to be able to sit with no noise, if you will. And if I'm left with any noise, it's only the noise in my head, so I could be able to bring it down some decibels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's talk about, for myself, a life-changing moment in my life is when I became a parent. And it definitely changed me as a person.
Yes.
And Scott will say this a lot of times, like, oh my God, do you remember how much crazy we used to be, or how much? and once you become a parent,
right? Before kids,
and
AK after
you go
kids.
through a change. And as a single dad raising 2 teenage boys, co-parenting, what has it taught you about yourself? How have you changed? What have you learned? Like, man, I'm sure that was huge.
What? Man, listen. So, first of all, shout out to my 2 kids, Jason, Jasir. Jason's 18, Jasir is 17. When I had my kids young. So reflect of saying, because I look at it like this, you know, I give perspective of I had 2 kids before I had a driver's license. I'm not proud of that. But when you think of it like, sheesh, like, you know, that's pretty intense if you think of it like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing it's taught me was that you can make grown-up decisions as a kid, right? Or grown-up choices as a kid. May not be intentional, but they can be made. Or things could happen that you may not have wanted to intentionally happen, but things happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take better inventory of what you got going on in life. You know, at least that's what I learned. I need to take better inventory of what I got going on in life. It's also taught me too that I don't have a daughter, and just for the put it on tape, sometimes I really think and wish I had a daughter, right? But that's another part of the conversation. But my 2 boys, they taught me that they're a reflection of me for real. Like, I know my mom likes to tell me how I'm a reflection of my dad and stuff like that. Even her, of course, but they're really a reflection of me. My 2 boys, right? And I got 2, so they're literally like a perfect split half. Like my older son, right? He's equally introverted and extroverted. Like, it depends on what his mood is, right? Whereas my younger son, he's a little bit more reserved, but he's got such a bright light. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man. And I think, like, humbly speaking about myself with the reflection that, man, that's kind of how I am. Like, sometimes I could be so reserved, but they don't know how bright this light is, right? But then sometimes it's like, you know what? I need to reflect because I might think my light is so bright. Mm-hmm. And then you get around other sources of light and you be like, man, I got more work to do. I need to humble myself. You know what I mean? And I think having kids helped teach me that because now I'm teaching them how to manage their own light, which means I need to be able to understand who I am.
Yeah,
you know?
Being a mentor to somebody. And
yes, it's actually very, very, very important.
One thing we learned, I don't want to say the hard way, but we just learned, is that kids are always watching.
Yes.
You know, even if it's subconsciously.
Yes.
They might not even think or realize they're watching or listening to you, but the way we communicate, our nonverbal language with one another, the things we do work-wise, you know, it becomes the culture. We talk about all this in the business world, like what's your office culture, but it's the culture of the family.
Right.
Yep.
And instilling pride in them. And this might sound, I don't know, but, you know, how many times do we have a team meeting, a family meeting? And they're like, well, so-and-so can do this or so-and-so. And I'm like, so-and-so is not a greats.
Yeah.
Like, this is
So
team.
hard.
This is team greats. We got different standards.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
And, you know, they don't like it now, but, or now they're older, but, you know, they get it.
Yep.
So I guess for you being such a young dad to obviously now, I don't want to say you're at the end, but I'm telling you.
Oh, no, don't put that on me at the end. Wait a minute.
Well, it's a different season.
Oh, I struggle
It's a different
with it. Let me
season.
tell
Like,
you.
I mean, they're men now.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to go do their thing. And dad's not as cool. Mom's not as cool as we used to be, right?
Man.
But anyway.
I'm always going to be cool. What are you talking about?
Yeah, let's go with that. What was your maturation process and just lessons that you learned as a dad through that season?
So I learned that you need to watch what you literally, I kind of, not to piggyback, but watch what you say and what you do. But first, watch what you say. The reason being is because most times we want to give our kids a good talk before we quote unquote do anything about the situation. If we can, in my own personal opinion, if I could sit there and tell you or converse with you of what happened, what's the lesson and what changes can be made, then I feel like that's the best way to go, right? And then after that, it is what it is. You showed me what you understood about that, right? But I've learned that how I speak, first of all, even if I'm talking to my friends, I need to watch how I speak around and to my kids, because at the end of the day, there's probably stuff that our kids from 10 years old or 10 years ago or when they're 10 years old remember that we totally forgot about, but that stuck with them. You know, there's sometimes, and, you know, I love my mom. Shout out to my mom. And there's things that, you know, most people, including me, have realized that after the fact, man, like, this stuck with me for the last 20 years. And I didn't realize that was affecting me, right? And, of course, we as parents are only doing the best we could.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about, I've also learned with parenting, is that this job that we are working, it's the only job besides our own life that we have to work that we never got taught how to actually do it.
Yeah.
I think that's, you're talking about honesty, clarity, transparency, which are all key to any relationship. So obviously with the kids, it makes a ton of sense. But I think that piece of it, we don't communicate enough as parents with the kids that, you know, I've never done this before either.
Yeah.
Like they're just, you know, trying to figure stuff out.
I don't have all the answers.
And you know, they look up to us as like, yeah, it's my first rodeo here too, man. Like,
let's unpack that for a second. I think it's important. I think because that goes alongside leadership, right? The leader does not, in my own opinion, the leader does not always know what to do. I think sometimes, kids included, or if even at a job, and if you're looking at their employees, they don't always understand what weight the leader carries. It might look like it's all roses and stuff because, okay, they're this person, they're up here, they have this type of light shining around them, but man, you don't understand what it takes to be a parent for when you don't understand what's going on, right? When your kids are looking at you and saying, well, what do I do next? You're even wondering, I don't know. So, like, you can't tell them that, though, right? So you just got to figure it out. You know what I mean? Now, I learned in parenting that you just got to keep going, figure it out. I used to be very much a big perfectionist. Maybe sometimes I still can be. But if you wait to be perfect, it ain't going to really happen.
Yeah.
So
funny.
And even you brought it up with having different kids, too. Like, it's not a one-size-fits-all.
No.
Like job, like what might have worked with one child is not going to work with your other child, and they respond differently.
That's so true.
And it's tough, and I totally get where you're coming from too with language, because Scott will say this sometimes. Like when I give my kids options, I always talk up the option that I want them to pick. Like I make it seem like they have a choice, but really they don't have a choice.
Jordan, do you want to do this? Or we can go do this over here. And it's like,
but you know what, though?
Wait a minute. Like, that wasn't.
But if I can give an opinion, one, you guys kind of are on two different sides of that, right? Yeah. But I think it's actually great that there are two people on two different sides. Because one, that's depending on the situation. That's not a bad thing. No, that's a good strategy. Depending
and I'm an
on,
educator, so I know
especially if you need them to clean their room or something.
You want kids to seem like they have a choice, but really, they're not going to have a choice because I'm going to talk them into the choice that I want them to make. So that's my that's.
And I learned in parenting though, because I took parenting classes when I was younger, right? And just honestly, leadership skills. Period. Yeah. Sometimes that's really what you want to do. And the reason why I say that is because, for example, you can say, all right, because giving options as a parent, I learned is actually very important. It's actually a very good tool.
Kids want to be able to feel like they have a choice.
Every human wants choices and options.
What I learned, which I used to make these mistakes, so I'm putting it on record, I learned from this, is sometimes I would want what I want to happen and not realizing that, well, I thought this would be a better decision to make. So I kind of, like you guys are saying, talk them into it. But I was a little bit more direct of saying, no, you should do this because of X, Y, and Z, right? But like you said, sometimes it's great, in my opinion, because you teach them decision-making. You could do this or you could do this. Mm-hmm. And what I learned with that is you give the options that you're okay with either one. So if you said, for example, you could clean your room right now if you want, or you could wait, and these are the consequences for me, the decision. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're fine with both, but you really want the room.
But I really want to clear this room right now.
And I think it's important that we reward when they make the decision that best benefits them. Even if sometimes it's their own benefit, we don't see it at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? They made a decision.
I want to talk about the flip side of that, because this is where I think if we're doing a self-assessment, we're weak, is allowing your kids to make a decision that you know is bad. And as Mel Robbins would say, let them, right?
That's tough for me.
And because, you know, we can say the stove is hot all day long, but until they touch it and feel it,
that's right.
Then it's like, oh shit, the stove is hot.
That's right.
Do that again, right? So it's like, you know, what's the technique or thought process around, like, you know, and I'm not saying like life-threatening stuff, but you know they're going down a road that's like, but you also want to let them do it so they learn from it.
I think I have an answer for that. I think two things. Being prepared, right? Because I think that's the best thing we could do as parents, is just be prepared and just be open, right? So, for example, if they did touch a stove, you've been telling them it's hot all day long, right? And they just decided to go touch a stove. Now, do you really want them to? No. But I'm prepared if they touch the stove. I got my bandages ready. I got the whatever cream that they going to need. And then asking them questions about what they learned from what they just did. When you touch that stove, what happened? Oh, it was hot. It burned. Do you want to feel that again? No? Okay. All right. Well, I think by not touching the stove next time, we can save you from not being hurt. And I learned that because I studied sales too, right? So one of the best things to do is kind of just ask the right questions. You know what I mean? Ask the right question. What did you learn? And then from that point, they can fill in their own blank. I don't even need to do all the work no more. I don't need to stress
Ask the
as much.
question and shut up.
But that's tough. Listen,
Yeah,
It's so hard.
I don't know if you're the same way, sir, but especially, you got sons?
Yeah, too.
We have 2 boys and then we have a daughter.
So I got 2 boys, clearly. And the toughest thing for me sometimes is, like you said, just letting that happen. The things that I feel, I tell them all the time, literally to this day, listen, there's 2 streets. You can go down that one or you can go down this one. I went down this one. I can tell you there's barking dogs. There's a whole bunch of crap going down there. Now, if you go down this one, kind of like what you're saying, I'm kind of giving the options. I want them to go down this one. But I'm also prepared to say, hey, look, if you do go down this one, all I could do is guide you. I feel like me as a parent, we're not here to do the actual work for them because then they don't learn, like you said. Yeah. But I'm here to guide you. Hey, listen, if you go down this street, that's what's going on. That's what's hiding for you, waiting for you. But if you go down this one might be down there. So
I love it.
And I'll leave it there for them now. You know what I mean? I wasn't always like that.
Let's talk about the book.
Yeah.
Turning the tables.
Turn the tables from negative thinking to positive living. Yes, sir. And that's big for me. I believe it's such a strong title because it's literally a piece of every single one of us. I've known people in my family outside of it that, let's say, were heavy into negative things that we would consider negative, like drugs and stuff. But now they're, let's say, community leaders or, people who were, wanted to always pursue this profession. And they say, man, I don't even think I could do that. Like, I don't believe in myself enough to now they're probably at the top of their game in that field. So it's turning the tables. The table's always going to turn. Not to be cliche about it, but I believe the tables always turn.
Yeah. That negative self-talk is huge,
It
especially with our younger generation and in the schools now. And I love that we are coaching them on character.
Yes.
And how to eliminate that negative self-talk because that's a huge barrier for so many people.
It is.
Just that voice inside of them.
And sometimes it's so loud, like, you know what I mean?
You can't get past it,
no.
for sure.
And I think that we all, a lot of us, let me not say all, but I think a lot of us by default speak to ourselves negatively before we speak to ourselves positively. You know what I mean? I mean, would you guys agree or disagree?
Yeah, we are our toughest critic, for sure.
There's science behind that. There's a reason. And, our brains are this prehistoric matter. Like the world has evolved. We haven't as humans. I don't mean that in a bad way, but we're still cave people on many levels. And our brain's designed to do basically one thing.
That's right.
Keep us safe.
That's right.
Keep us safe.
You know what I mean?
Flight.
And whenever you feel uncomfortable or, you're leaving that zone or, going into something new, your brain is thinking this is dangerous.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's going, don't do it.
That's right.
No, seriously. You're not worthy of this. You're not smart enough. You're not strong enough. You're not, all these things. And you're like, yeah, you're right. And then we don't do it.
Yes.
So we've got to fight against that.
Man, listen, like as you're saying this, memories are kind of popping up of me actually saying these things to myself. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. And even in kids, like I remember our son Tyler was an altar server, and there was one time where he's like, I'm sick, I don't feel good. And I could tell he was having anxiety because it was a large mass. And I knew he was going to be okay. I knew he wasn't sick. He was nervous, but it's normal to be nervous before you do big things like that.
Yes.
And he got done and he was so happy afterwards. I'm like, see, you did it.
That's right.
You thought you were sick. You weren't sick. And it is. We all get to those points in our life where we literally think that we can't do something.
It was Will Smith that said,
the other side. That's
God
a great.
placed the greatest moments in our life on the other side of fear.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, I didn't even hear that.
That's a great quote.
That's
y'all
one
might
of
go
my
look that up when I leave.
That's one of my favorites.
When you look back at all the highlights, you can do it, yourself in reflection.
Yes.
Tonight, right?
No, seriously.
Look at all those great moments and wins and breakthroughs, right? I'm sure the book, you were like, I'm not an author. I can't write. No one's going to read it. Who cares, right?
Listen, I would love to tell y'all how, you guys want to hear how I at least became an author?
Yes, for sure. We want to figure out where we can find the book and everything about it.
Yeah, so how I even became an author, one, I always felt like I was good with words. I started as 9, 10 years old doing poetry, right? My mom was a poet, got into poetry, doing that. In fact, I remember where I finally believed in myself in doing poetry. I was in, ninth grade. Ninth grade. In Proctor, they had what's called the Blue Academy, yellow, green, red, whatever, right? So I was in the Blue Academy English class. English teacher was like, you got to do this assignment because you've been falling behind. And if you do well on it, then it'll put you ahead and you'll be in good standings in the class. My mom was like, if you do well, I'll get you a pair of Jordan sneakers. At the time, we weren't really,
See,
getting
that bribery works so good.
But that's also great because people do deserve rewards, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Or not deserve, but rewards help, right?
You earned it, yeah.
I was in English class, did the project, which was a poetry assignment. Teacher came to me after I handed in. The next day after I handed in, said, hey, can I talk to you? I'm thinking, oh, man, come on, man. It's over. I'm not getting these kicks. Mom about to be tight. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yo, can I put this in the school newspaper? I paused like, what? She was like, can I put this in the school newspaper? This is so good. I'm like, all right, I guess. So day after that, I'll come in school, I'm just my regular self. People's like, oh, you think you so cool? I'm like, what are y'all talking about? So they handed me the paper. It was in the paper. So I'm like, you know what? I guess I got away with words, right? So then fast forward to present day, it also stems from being put in the corner. I was like, I need to make more money. What problem can I solve? And I felt that my mom always, and people general, but always put in my head, man, you're so positive, you're so positive, you're so positive. And it's like, well, I'm always going through negative stuff. I almost have no choice but to be positive. Ding, wait a minute. There's people that's always negative. I've been negative. You know what? People struggle being positive. I could tell people what I've been through and how I've gotten through them, and maybe that'll help them and believe in what they're doing, they can get through it. So that's how me sitting there writing a book. But honestly speaking, y'all, I was going to quit writing the book halfway through it. Mm-hmm. At least researching and doing everything I need to do to get it done. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if this is the path I'm supposed to take. Mm-hmm. I think actually a lot of young gentlemen deal with that. If this is what I'm supposed to do, if I'm leading my own life right to lead someone else, like my kids, am I doing the right thing? If becoming an author, am I wasting my own time? Who's going to read my book? Then I said, nah, you know what? I just got to do it. Let me just get it done, and I got it done. You know what I mean? So I became an author because I thought I was good with words and I needed to make some money, man.
Yeah, you used the word unpack earlier. I love that word. So let's unpack.
Let's unpack.
There. From a teaching standpoint, how powerful is that as a freshman at Proctor? Here you are. I don't know how old you are, but I'm guessing
34.
That was at least 2 decades ago that you were a freshman, right?
Dang.
And you're still
dang.
Right?
When you put it on like that.
But like the power we have as humans,
yeah.
not just teachers. Find the good.
That's right.
In what someone is doing.
Yes.
And call that one moment someone found the good in the work you had done, and it changed your life forever.
Man, you know what I learned from to support what you said? There's no one side to anything. Like this table, that table, that sheet of paper. There's another side to it. Even if there's no words on it, there's still another side to it. Mm-hmm. So it lets us know that there's got to be a balance in life, and the balance in life, period, in my opinion, is that there's at least a small chance where positivity can live. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a seed of positivity in any situation, just like negativity, right? So the work that we're supposed to do, at least what I'm gonna say I'm supposed to do, is figure out what is that. Like if you think of it, plants, well, what type of plant is it? If there's a positive seed in here, what type of positivity is living in here? What's going on? What can I pull from this situation that I can use for my benefit?
So you are what I am. We're together. We're contrarians.
Yes.
Right? Where when everyone's looking to the left, all I care about is what's happening on the right.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Because the masses are over here. That's easy. Right. But what can we learn over here? So you're looking at the flip side.
And you got to, because otherwise you're going to be stuck.
Awesome. And then, with positivity, and it sounds hokey and cliche, but those who understand it, have an abundance mindset, and embrace it. Even who likes paying bills?
Right.
Nobody.
Nope, not me.
But if you have the ability to pay that bill because you're healthy, you're working, you're earning money, be grateful that you can pay that bill. And so to stop looking at the bill like a negative thing, look at it like, how blessed am I to have the opportunity to pay this?
Getting to do things is one thing that helped me. I get to do this, you know what I mean? And I think the most powerful, if I could give one word, I think that would help society in general, is perspective. I feel like, forgive me for saying this, I feel like God is perspective. Us as people, each individual, we have our own perspective of life, right? So perspective is, all right, well, I'm going through this. The next thing I could do is either sit here and stay stuck, or if I want to get better, I got to figure out something to do, not what to say, but to do. You know what I mean? And that's helped me progress a lot in a lot of situations that I wasn't even privy to before I got into them. You know what I mean? Like, we can't prepare for everything. We can't study for everything, for every test in life. So I feel like perspective, like, all right, you know, not too long ago in September, right? I got into a car accident, first car accident, and, you know, shout out to anybody who's been in a car accident and who can get through that through the day, because sometimes I replay that incident like, man, I got through it. I'm still, nothing was, you know, damaged. I wasn't hurt, but still that, man, how did I get through that? But the perspective I leave with is, all right, well, I could sit here and dwell on feeling bad or whatever the case may be, but you know what? I got through it. I made something. I'm still making something of myself after the fact. You know what I mean? Making my kids proud. It's like, I still got my life, so why not make something of myself while I'm still here? You know what I mean? There's people who's been in that type of accident who didn't come out in the greatest condition.
For sure.
So,
all right, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about your auto detailing business.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the book, you can tell that's your passion and that you're just a positive thinker and you know, taking bad and making it into good. But let's talk about your auto detailing business. Name of it. How do people make appointments? I love that it's what's the word that you use? Mobile.
yes.
Mobile.
Yes. So it's called Genius Mobile Cleaning and Services.
Okay.
Genius comes from stemming from like the music world, where I guess had a lot of good ideas and people, oh man, that's genius. So they started calling me JW the Genius, right?
Okay.
So I started running
That's
with
a good
it.
nickname to have.
That is a good
you know what I
nickname.
I have a few less
That-
desirable
yeah.
names. if people tell me.
Yeah, no, I'm glad they gave me that one. You know what I'm saying? So imagine me responding to something crazy, you know what I mean? But anyway, so they call me JW Genius. So the Genius moniker, I just started running with in a lot of things, right? And with that, I felt it stands for essentially just being able to be smart about the condition of your own life, right? So if you take care of, let's say, the condition of your clothes, your house, your car, you're a genius because, like, you know what? You were smart enough to actually put in the work to take care of it or pay the money to get it done. That, to me, is wise decision-making, to take care of yourself, right? So that's a genius idea, which Genius, I kept it in the auto detailing business. You know what I mean? And as far as the mobile part, I actually like being mobile, but I will say upstate New Yorkers teach me that I probably do need a shop. I probably do need a shop because I can't be doing just, you know, spring and summer, you know what I mean? A little bit of fall. Now I need all year round, you know? So I do think that at this point in my life, almost 3 years, gonna be 3 years in this summer, I do need a shop, or at least start really getting the space together. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But cars are looking rough out there right now, let me tell you.
Man, and it's it's okay for the fact that you have somebody who can clean them. Listen, I do believe that I want people to understand that money should be spent. Okay,
especially
spend it to save your time.
Especially, I'm going to interrupt you and then let you finish.
No. Go ahead. I would love
the
to hear
amount
what you
of
say.
money that people are paying for vehicles. You are paying so much money for a vehicle. Why are you not going to maintain it? Because if you don't, that vehicle is not going to be worth what you want it to be worth 5 years from now if you don't take care of it.
Very true.
So keep going with that. That's what I don't understand too.
I love the fact of getting into auto detailing. Like, you learn the ins and outs, and then you start to see patterns, right? And the good and bad thing, I guess you can look at the bad thing if you want, but the positive perspective is you get to see how people kind of are, right? A little bit. There's still some truth to how people keep their conditions of things, right? So it teaches me that the way people keep things like their car, and of course we're talking about most people who get the car detailed or pay for detailing, it's been like that for years. You know what I mean? Not just like in the last week, because most times
they didn't have a bad week.
Yeah, well, but if they had a bad week, I guarantee it's probably a little messy, but not trash. You know what I'm saying? Unless you went to the beach or something, you just got buck wild. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it teaches me that, you know, the conditions of things, but how that correlates is what people are going through. Why is a condition like this, and why has it been like this for, let's say, a period of time? Doesn't have to be nothing crazy. Yeah. It could be something that's not even, let's say, that messy, but you're paying me to come clean it. Maybe you're just that busy. Maybe you're going through something. Yeah. Now, when I look at it, I have something to talk to you about. Or maybe we get into a simple conversation while I'm detailing the car and find out, this is why it's like this. You know, they're going through X, Y, and Z. You get what I'm saying? So it all plays a role.
Full circle moment here, because we talked about how crazy different children are.
Yes.
And we have two boys. My oldest son,
the same age as your boys, pretty much.
He's 20.
20 and 18.
And his car is a disaster. He doesn't care about it. He's got cans all over the place. It's just.
I got in his car.
We get in his car. We're like, Ty,
and
how
I said, Ty,
can it look? How can you
homeless?
drive this?
Like, what is this?
Then we have an 18-year-old that he literally spends all of his money on his car.
Right.
And like washing it and keeping it neat and all the little things
listen,
that he buys. And I'm like, how are you both?
I think this goes way deeper. It's so funny that the car detailing brings us deeper, but we've got 2 college interns or high school interns in the room. Here's my life advice. I got a lot of it.
Cars.
Unsolicited life advice. Here
Tell my son, listen to this too, kid.
Yeah,
listen to this, man.
You know, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes, sir.
And the only big things are the little things.
Ooh, I like that.
And, you know, it's like, what is your identity? If you walk past, and my wife says I'm OCD, but I think it's just more of a focus on the little things. Like if there's a little piece of paper on the ground, I can't walk past it and leave it there. Like even if it has nothing to do with, you know, it wasn't my piece of paper, but it's like, hey, I noticed it. Stop, pick it up.
Yep.
Right.
Yes, sir.
If there's trash that needs to be thrown out, you don't leave it in the car and leave it for future you or someone else. Like,
right.
like take care of it right now.
That's right.
And these things become people's identity, and it does have a direct correlation with success in life because they appreciate the little things, and it becomes their identity that the details matter.
Yes.
And yeah, man, I think you're onto something. I don't know where it goes. We got to get you a shop.
Yeah,
we got to get you
shop.
in the winter too.
And another thing you have to look into is now that you have the book is you need to get in front of kids in schools for sure.
Yes.
You need to get in front of kids, and you need to, because these kids are going through things that, you know, we went through when we were younger, and the negative self-talk, and to just be there to say there's something positive that can come out of this.
Let's go there.
They need that. They need that. Schools need to do
if
more.
Who did you write the book for?
Well, if I can mention something before
I
answer that, I would love to answer that. I wanted to just address, like you said, you have 2 different kids. You feel like, man, how are these my kids, right? I think, in fact, when you look at it, that perspective thing we talked about, when you look about strength, weaknesses, the fact that it seemed like your son is always on the go, why his thing is like that, his car condition. So it's like, yo, when you really start to look at like perspectives and how you can use your team members, I will just say, for the sake of argument, he's your team. Well, one, he's always on the go. So it's like he's always doing something. That's great. It's kind of like, well, we don't want to stop him from always doing something because that's forward movement. That's a good thing. But it's as long as now you start to think, well, if I know this is how I'm moving, like I'm trying to teach my kids right now, and for any kid or anybody, adult listening, use your team. So, for example, if you got your son who's always, let's say, kind of a little bit messy, but then you got a son who's like always pristine and clean, yo, tell your oldest or the other son, hey, listen, I'm going to pay you this much money to be able to do this. Now, your son has some money in his pocket. Your other son keep moving. He's got a job. His car's clean. Like, those are the type of things I like to point out to my kids where it's like, this is how I would like to use team members. So if I'm leading a team, let's say if I'm a manager of some type of business, and we aren't always going to get people that's of the same type of manner, work ethic, whatever. So just learning who's who and meeting them where they're at. You know what I mean? But I'm so sorry. So I would love to answer that question.
I was wondering, you know, we talk when we write about having an avatar, right? So you don't write for millions of people. You write for one person, and then you hope that message resonates with others.
Yep.
So who'd you write the book for?
So I wrote this pretty much for a father between the age of, let's say, 18 to really, I would say 40 at first, but you can even go up to 50, right? For a father or a professional, just a male was a focus, right? Because I'm a male father. So a male who's, I guess, going through a season where he doesn't believe he's going to get his way. And whether he's supposed to have that way or not, that's what he's figuring out, right? So at the end of the day, well, how I'm writing this for any male and a woman, but primarily a male who believes that, you know what? I don't know where my life is going. I don't know what's going to happen next. I have these big dreams. I don't know how to make them happen. What do I do? You know what I mean? I feel, and especially anybody who feel like they've taken so many losses, all they want to do is just win. You know what I mean? All they want to do is win. Just understand that, you know what? You can. And your winner's on the way. You probably just got to understand that, you know what? Like, I'm a sports dude, basketball dude, right? So it's like, look, all you got to do is pay attention. When you was playing defense over here, you wasn't really sliding your feet. So if you improve that, then you good. Everything else is good in the game. But if you just learn to slide your feet and stop fouling so much, you'll be all right. And then you get to stay in the game longer. When you stay in the game longer, you get more opportunity to score. And if you get to score, then you'll feel better, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That whole down the line thing.
We used the sports analogy when we had kids. We said when we had
I
three,
use sports analogies
we
all
went
the
from
time.
a man to a zone. And
Yeah.
that was really, really hard.
You came up with that?
we couldn't play,
Whoever, that's fine.
stolen. That's stolen. But
Yeah. We couldn't play man to man
went
anymore.
from
We had
2
to
to
move
3.
to a zone.
That's so fire.
We had a lot
Oh
of
man,
sports
yeah,
analogies.
that's good.
But yeah, I mean, what you're talking about, Jordan, is everyone needs a coach, right? And,
Yep.
and
They do.
you know, or a mentor, or just a good friend, and
Every
not
person.
someone who's going to blow smoke. And you know, it's almost, I don't want to say easy, but it's kind of easy to find people who will tell you what you want to hear.
Oh yeah.
Like I need someone that can look at what I'm doing and be like, dude, you got to tighten that up.
Yeah.
And I
You
think
gotta-
if I may
yeah.
address it, I do think that that's because of our attitudes, our emotional stability. I think that's a lot of the reason why. Because if you sit there, I wanted you to keep it real with me, but then I could keep it real with you, but my delivery could be, let's say, horrible or, quote
There's
unquote,
a lot of
borderline
that.
disrespectful. Now it's like, I ain't talking no more. Stop playing with me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we all need a coach. But shout out to all my coaches, people that's older, younger, that's become coaches, because we need y'all. But I do think that part of being in the game is being able to listen to your coach. And your coaches come from many, many different sources and
coachable.
places.
Yeah.
Yes, being coachable. I
That
love
is
that's a better way of saying it.
huge.
Best part about being in the game, you need to be coachable. You know what I'm saying? I think that's great.
Let's hit on Utica.
Yeah, let's talk about Utica and,
we'll-
and
Oh,
what
yeah,
do you
let's
think
talk
the
about it.
region does, especially when it comes to like raising creative, resilient people? Like I feel like we're on the uprise here.
We are. At least that's what I think.
I think so too.
I think that Utica personally, a lot of people say it's a crabs in the barrel type city. I don't think they're exactly wrong. But what the perspective flip is that, well, I got something to fight for now. Because you don't really get nowhere, in my opinion, without fighting for something. Have a challenge. That's a better way, I think,
Yeah.
saying that. Having some type of, when have anybody's ever succeeded without a challenge, in my opinion? And if they did, I probably want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Probably not legal.
yeah, I
If it's too
definitely don't
easy-
be a part of that.
If it's
You know
too
what I'm
easy,
saying?
it's probably not legal.
Yeah, I don't want to know. You good. You did what? All right. Holla, I see you. But, I think at the end of the day, being from upstate New York, being from Utica, it helps me because if this makes sense, we in a way are seen but not seen. We have so much talent here, and I think it's part of the reason because all we're going to do is just work on our craft. But then the other part about it is we have all this talent, and no one's really being, quote-unquote, seen how they would like to be seen. Versus if using like a New York City,
Huge.
Los Angeles,
Yeah.
these places where if you're doing almost anything, it seems like you have a greater chance to pop, if that makes sense.
Got a greater chance to pop, but you have a greater chance to not be seen either.
No,
Right.
and that's I'm glad you said that because that's the catch-22 about anything.
Yeah.
The greater the risk, the more chance of you do have to fail, right?
Right.
But now you got to find within yourself, which I think is very important to touch on. Why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Why are you doing this? Like, at the end of the day, for example, for me, I wrote a book because I really wanted anybody who was struggling with the belief in themselves to believe in themselves. So it's like, I'm doing this because there's somebody like me out there who can benefit from this information, right? So
want your
with that, I
boys-
can't lose.
You want your boys to stay here?
So that's a tough thing to answer for me, right? Because the question comes down to me before them. But they're going to come with me, first of all. So it's like, why do I want to stay if I'm going to stay?
Yeah.
And that question I battle with all the
Yeah.
time, for real. Because it's like, I would love to actually move away. But then if I'm being completely honest and transparent, where would I go and how would I know I would survive, but it's like the way you maneuver in a city that you're from versus a brand new place, I think is two totally different tiers.
Life is
And-
all about relationships. too.
Yes, it
And
Things
is.
we've
that
got so
you
many connections
embrace,
here.
and that's what I'm going to go there too because I thought for sure that our boys would want to go when they
Mhm.
graduated, and both of them are very much wanting to stay, which kind of shocks me. And our middle son, who he said, like, don't get me wrong, it's nice to go on vacation and go to a warm place when you know what I mean, it's snowing here.
Mhm.
He goes, but it wouldn't be the same as being in that small knit community
That's
and
right.
knowing all your neighbors.
That's right.
And it's a great place
Absolutely.
to build a life.
Yes. Yes.
Go on vacation, but where do you want your roots?
Yeah.
You know?
And I haven't fully came up with that answer yet. I think if this makes sense, I don't even think about it no more. It's like
Yeah.
The more
Makes
you ever notice, the more you think about something, contemplate it. At least in my life, the more I contemplate, think about it, it just don't happen. Yeah. I could be sitting here and say, "Man, I'm about to go to this concert later on. I'm about to be vibing," and all of a sudden, car break down. I ain't go to no concert. You know what I'm saying? Now that all this thinking and hype I had for the last month is gone.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, it's a full circle moment for the conversation because you talked earlier without saying these words, take imperfect action.
Yes.
We don't know where the journey is going to take us. And so many of us need to know. We think we need to know, but it just weighs us down.
It panics us not to know. Yeah.
And just live in the moment, be present,
And that's all I do.
Yeah.
I think if this makes sense, right? And I mean this in the most humblest way possible, but a very convicting way. I am already successful. The reason why is because what do I want success to do for me? What, to have a home, to have a family, to be fed, to have clothes? Like, what do I want success to do? Why do I want to be successful, quote unquote, right? And when I look at it, it's like, I got, my family. I got a place to live. Now, the question is, I guess the journey is, how do you want to modify it? How do I want to modify how I live? How do I want to modify where I go?
That's a great way to put it.
You know what I mean? Like, where I want to go from there. Outside of that, I'm good. You know what I mean?
It's so funny. At the end of last year, the end of 25, did some reflecting, and I call it the essential question, or the core question I kept coming back to was, how much is enough? Like,
got very much struggles with
now
that.
We're older, right? So we're looking at the next season, the next mountain to climb, and I'm like, at what point do you stop accumulating and just start enjoying?
Yeah.
Right? And can you do both?
Man, that's good.
I think you can do both. So,
how do you see doing both in your own perspective?
So I wholeheartedly believe the term work-life balance is
He's done a lot better
myth.
with
it. It tells us that it's one or the other. You're either working and then you're not living, or you're living and you're not working, but there's got to be a balance. I'm all in on work-life integration. What we've done is built work around our life. Things that like this, like this is work, right?
Fire.
But none of this feels like work.
Right? This is a great conversation.
Fire.
And I own insurance agencies. Well, what do we do there? Like when there's that accident, we guide people, we help people, we educate people. We, you know what I mean? Like, it's work, but we're helping others. I like to write, I like to podcast, I like so it's just integrating the things you enjoy doing, and then how do you monetize them? And money, as you know, is just a byproduct of adding value to people's lives.
Yes, sir.
Which you've done. So
yes, sir.
40 minutes, that was fast.
It goes fast, I know.
That was actually
we're not done with you, Jordan.
Yeah, no.
By the way, if you Google Jordan Johnson, you're going to get a lot of Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson stuff that comes up. This morning I was like,
he's a basketball man,
Jordan Johnson. I went down all these NBA rabbit holes.
I used to play basketball a lot growing up.
I don't think he's either of them. But
you would never know. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but I think I think at the end of the day, as far as with basketball, we use that a lot because I came up playing basketball. Basketball taught me a lot of lessons that music hasn't yet. And sometimes, if this makes sense, you need to go shoot alone. There needs to be a season where you just go shoot alone. And for me personally, right, doing music, I love it. It's a connection to me. But even sometimes when I'm not right in the head or in the mood and the vibe, I can't do it. I can't produce what I think I'm trying to produce. Now, basketball, if I'm just going to put up some shots, is the only time I feel like I can just go do it and just zone out. Like, I'm not thinking about what just happened before I enter this gym. You know what I mean?
It's your therapy. It's your escape.
It is. And I think just in general, people definitely should get into therapy. Like you said, we all need coaches, but specifically to bring up
for our
therapy,
kids especially, for us, there was always a stigma. Right? There's a stigma around a lot of things growing up in the 80s, 90s. But now with kids today, hopefully that stigma is going away.
Everybody needs therapy.
Because everyone, and I'll tell you what, I'll take it a step further. Every person you idolize that is doing things at a high level has some sort of mental coach or therapist. Sure. The mind, we live in our heads, not our houses.
It just came to me. Every ship comes with an anchor.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody said that before, but it just came to me.
Always something to slow you down.
Yeah, you need to, be grounded sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times.
All the time. Yeah. Let's just put it out there all the time.
I'm
you spoke about something early about getting in front of kids. In fact, there was shout out to ICANN. Mm-hmm. There was an event that I was a part of probably about going on a month ago now, and it was so dope. It was called the Rise Up event. A gentleman by the name of Kevin. I apologize, my man, if I'm mispronouncing your last name. Baritha, I believe it is. He was there. He spoke about his journey of surviving suicide, and there was a bunch of young gentlemen in the attendance. It was so dope because what I felt great about giving back and speaking to them, the message I have for them was just about discipline. In any venture you do, you need discipline, no matter what it is. What you also find is I published a coloring book. It's called Spunnies for Halloween, right? Spooky and funny. Doing that, my older son, he drew all the pictures that's in there. It's 10 pictures, right? Boy, when I tell you, he that was his first time really going through real life experiences. Let's say I was his boss, but I was treating him as if I kind of wasn't. Still guiding him as his dad, but like, hey, I need this by the deadline. This needs to be revised. He was not having a good time doing that. He almost wanted to quit as well, but he stuck it through. Those were originally drawn in 2023. Life was happening for me up until 2025. I put the coloring book out. The reviews was going great. And I'm showing him, like, this is what happens when you stick to the grind, believe in yourself, even when you think it ain't going to work out. Look what the result, the outcome was for you. Now people are telling me to tell you, we need to do part 2. Yeah. Christmas version. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, awesome. Like, awesome. It's a great lesson for him, too.
It's rapid fire.
Okay.
Rapid fire.
We got a bunch.
Yep.
We got a
All
bunch.
Right. Morning person or night owl?
Morning.
One book everyone should read.
The Bible.
Habit that changed your life?
Disciplining myself.
Best piece of advice you received?
Best piece of advice. That's a good one.
A tough one.
Yeah,
it could be just one of the best.
I was gonna say there's got to be at least a top 5, 10, something. But at least for one of the bunch was love yourself. Love yourself.
Something you're working on right now.
Something I'm working on right now is just, and this might sound cliche, literally being a better me than I was yesterday. And I promise you, that's exactly what I'm working on.
That Inky Johnson it says just you versus you.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm not sure.
Local spot in Utica you love that people should know about?
King's Kitchen.
Tell us more.
I think King's, I've only eaten there once, but the one time made me want to go back. King's Kitchen is located literally right up the street, somewhere on Genesee Street. I think it's across the street from one of the banks, Key Bank or something like that. Or no, I think it's across the street from Firestone, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. But literally right up the street here on Genesee Street.
That's a new one.
Danilius King, he promotes it a lot. King's Kitchen.
He was on the show.
Yes.
I wonder
shout out
if
to
he might have mentioned it.
He probably did. I don't know.
And if he didn't, man, I'll mention it for y'all.
What's one word that describes 2026 so far?
Alignment.
Okay.
All right, here's where you're going to tell me a song that I've never heard of. But what's your go-to song when you need to shift your mood?
Oof, man, what mood am I in? So that'll tell you that.
That's true.
Man.
Depends what mood you want to shift to, right?
No, for real. Do I want to turn up? Do I just want to sit here and just be sad? You know, I would say right now, I don't have an actual answer. I'm going to be honest. I don't have an answer because there's so much music. I'm not even going to try to figure that one out. But what I would love to do, I'm going to send you a message or email saying, hey, listen, y'all, I've been thinking about it. These are the last few songs I've been listening to lately. So,
fair
enough.
Well, that's like asking somebody their favorite movie. That's just a hard thing.
A Few Good Men.
Oh, that's your favorite? All-time favorite?
Oh, man. Now, as far as favorite movies, man, there's a bunch for me, but one of them is Friday. Ice Cube, man, for real.
How'd you lose your job on your day off?
Yo, for real.
Oh, my God,
we can
funny.
speak. I mean, we speak in like movie quotes, and Friday's got a ton.
Listen,
I know.
That is the one movie I could probably speak word for word for the whole movie. For the next hour, I'll tell you all the lines.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's it.
What up, Big Worm? Big Party?
What's your favorite movie? He's got his. What's yours?
I don't know
At least one of them. One of
favorite,
them.
I don't have a favorite. I really don't.
I
can't. I can't pick a favorite movie.
Yeah.
If you just want to have a good night out with him, and let's say it's a movie that's like comfort for you, right? What would you want to come home and watch?
Oh my gosh.
It could be any movie that you just love to watch. Maybe it's a classic that you.
I know your favorite Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite Christmas movie is National Lampoon's for sure.
What is it?
And National Lampoon's
Chevy
Christmas movie,
Chase.
Chevy Chase. Like
I don't think I've
that's
ever
my
heard of it.
dad. Like I grew up in that
man.
house of just craziness and
Yeah.
I don't know.
The
Yeah.
Griswolds. You've seen.
I want to say I
for
did, but I don't want to lie to you either.
Parts
So
of
With the
it,
huge
yeah.
Christmas tree and the crazy grandma and
Man.
that's my family. All right. What's one thing you want your teenagers to remember about you? Your boys.
that I guided them. You know what I mean? That I guided them. That's something I think about all the time. Like, you know, when we as parents leave here, what do we leave? What do we do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a cool thing about writing too.
Yes.
Podcasting, you
Yeah.
know,
They'll always be able to.
the underlying motivation for me is it creates a life, so you're remembered, you know, by kids, maybe grandkids that we don't even meet, you know, can one day pick up a book or listen to a podcast or something that their gramps did back in the day.
Nah, for real.
But no, man, this has been a ton of fun, Jordan. It's how do people connect with you? What's the easiest way to find you and your work?
So as far as my actual ebook, it's not on Amazon or anything. That's a purposeful choice. I thought it would be a mistake if I put it on Amazon too early. But it's you can find me on Facebook, Jordan J. Johnson, and that's the platform I use most for my book because for some reason I guess I don't convert as much on Instagram, but that's a different story. Yeah, I don't know.
Spina is the IG guru.
Yeah, all right, well, we wouldn't connect with on that level, but you can find me on Jordan J. Johnson on Facebook, J. the Genius on Instagram. Jordan Johnson 08 for my email at Yahoo is my email. If you see me out in public and you got a question, I want to make this, you can approach me and ask me a question, of course, approach respectfully, but yeah, you can find me anywhere, you know what I mean?
People need to find you this spring when they need their cars cleaned.
No, seriously, and as far as that goes, Genius MCS on Instagram and then Genius Mobile Cleaning Services on Facebook where the whole name is spelled out. I think that will be one of the best years I have for detailing so far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
man. So
You're doing awesome work.
What can people take away from you guys in this interview? Like, what would you want people to know about you guys?
From this interview that we're just parents
Or
trying
in
to
this
do our
interview,
best to win.
what would you like to tell people about yourself that you want them to know about you?
The work-life balance, the parenting, the loving, like where we're from. We're just trying to help people.
Yeah, I think for me,
well. Like, I
I
don't know.
love meeting people like you.
That have the same passion and drive.
Like-minded.
Yes, sir.
You know, we've never met. 40 minutes. You know, I could tell we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And the common bond is not only love for one another and respect for one another, but, you know, as parents who want to help guide their children and hopefully help them see the beauty and you know everything that could be offered in this community.
Yes.
Kind of like almost like the best kept secret out there.
Yes.
Right? Like we want people to know about Central New York, but not too many people.
Yeah. You don't want it to get too
good,
big.
yeah.
Exactly.
That was good. That was good.
So no, I just enjoyed the conversation, man. I don't, you know, I think whatever needed to be said was said. And,
Yeah. If I could leave people with something, I would love to leave them with live life loving, right? And because love is an action. So, like I like to say, love is the mud I come from. How people say they come from like the trenches. Well, love is the mud I come from. You know what I'm saying? I do everything I do out of love. You know what I mean? Even if it's just quote unquote love for myself. You know what I mean? I do everything from a place of love. The intention, I believe I do my best to be pure about it. And I would like people to take from this that love yourself. Love, and by loving yourself, do what will benefit you. Not what people said it would benefit you. You know your body the best. You know what you be thinking. Treat yourself. Build. You know what I'm saying? Collaborate. And all that takes some sense of love for it to be successful, in my opinion.
There it is. Jordan Johnson.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.